Every time you tap your credit card on a terminal or slide it into a chip reader, you're triggering a process more complex than most people realize. That tiny metallic square, so small you could cover it with your fingernail, holds within it layers of security, computing, and history. It's the chip at the heart of modern finance, and it transforms how money moves around the world. But have you ever wondered what's actually inside that chip? And how does it work so fast, yet so securely? To understand that, we have to dig deeper, past the plastic, beneath the surface of your card, into the hidden world of smart card technology. Let's start with what you see, the chip itself. It's called an EMV chip, short for Europe, MasterCard, and Visa, the three companies that help standardize the technology. If you've ever noticed that tiny metallic rectangle on your credit or debit card, you're looking at a contact-based integrated circuit. It stores data and processes it. And that's the key difference between the chip and the old magnetic stripe. Inside that chip is a tiny computer, a real microprocessor complete with a CPU, memory, and a secure operating system. It's programmed to make decisions, generate cryptographic codes, and defend itself against fraud. In many ways, it has more in common with your smartphone than with a magnetic strip. But it's not just one chip. In fact, a typical credit card chip is built like a miniature fortress, a multi-layered piece of silicon, copper, and gold etched with nanoscopic pathways. It usually contains a central processing unit, CPU, to control operations, read-only memory, ROM, to store the permanent software that powers the chip, random access memory, RAM, to handle temporary calculations during a transaction, EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, where dynamic data like your recent usage, keys, and counters are stored, and perhaps most critically, a cryptographic engine, which performs ultra-secure calculations that make fraud nearly impossible. Now here's how it works. When you insert your card into a reader or tap it at a terminal, the chip starts. The terminal sends a signal to the chip, and the chip responds, not by simply giving away your card number, but by engaging in a cryptographic handshake. Unlike magnetic stripes, which transmit static information, chip cards generate a unique, one-time code for each transaction. This code is called a cryptogram, and it cannot be reused. Even if a hacker intercepted the data mid-transaction, it would be useless the next time. That's why chip cards dramatically reduce card-present fraud. This process is known as dynamic authentication, and it's what makes chip cards so powerful. Every transaction is unique. Every signal is encrypted, and all of it happens in milliseconds. There are two main types of chip cards, contact and contactless. Contact cards are what you see when you insert the card into a reader and leave it there for a few seconds. The gold contacts on the chip align with metal pins in the reader, forming a direct circuit. Power flows into the chip, the terminal and card begin to exchange data, and the transaction proceeds. Contactless cards, on the other hand, work using near-field communication (NFC). There are no pins or metal touches. Instead, the terminal emits a tiny radio field, which powers the chip wirelessly. The chip responds through a miniature antenna embedded in the card, transmitting your transaction data securely and almost instantly. Now, here's something even more fascinating. The chip not only stores your account information, but also contains embedded security keys, private digital credentials that are impossible to extract without destroying the chip itself. These keys are protected by tamper-resistant architecture. If someone tries to physically dig into the chip with acid, lasers, or probes to extract the information, the chip can detect the intrusion and self-destruct or erase its memory. Some chips include shielding layers, dummy circuits, and booby-trap mechanisms to resist attacks at the microscopic level. It's like a miniature spy gadget sitting quietly in your wallet. And yet, despite all this complexity, the chip runs on remarkably little power. That's because it's designed to be incredibly efficient, operating on the electricity supplied by the terminal itself. In the case of contactless chips, they can even run without a battery, drawing power wirelessly using induction. You might be wondering, where are these chips made? The answer is, in highly secure semiconductor fabrication plants, clean rooms where even a single speck of dust could ruin an entire batch. Each chip is carefully programmed and tested under strict supervision. After manufacturing, the chips are embedded into plastic cards using heat and pressure. Then they're personalized with your name, your card number, and linked to your account. Even after issuance, chip cards can be updated remotely or locked down in case of suspected fraud. In some advanced systems, the chip can learn usage patterns and flag suspicious behavior on the fly. YIMBY chips weren't created to speed things up, they were created to slow fraud down. In fact, chip transactions often take slightly longer than a swipe. But that extra second or two is the price we pay for security. And it's working. Since the global adoption of chip cards, in-person card fraud has dropped significantly in many countries. But of course, no system is perfect. Chip cards mainly protect against card-present fraud, like someone trying to clone your card at a gas station. They don't stop online fraud, which is why you still need protections like OTPs, two-factor authentication, and CVV numbers. In the future, chip cards may evolve even further, combining biometrics like fingerprint sensors, or being replaced entirely by digital wallets and virtual cards. But for now, that tiny metallic square on your credit card is doing a lot more than you think. It's a microcomputer, it's a security vault, and it's quietly working every time you buy groceries, fill your tank, or check into a hotel. So the next time you tap or insert your card and hear that beep, remember, it's not just a piece of plastic. It's a pocket-sized miracle of encryption, electronics, and trust. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you benefited.